Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Magic Origins draft. I'm Ryan from Mana Bluff here. We have a pretty good rare. Dwayne super solid, moves you into green, that's all fine. Good card, happy to take the legendary elf here. Passing an Undercity Troll, which is pretty nice, and in the colors. Even a Force Mage, which is a filler. Don't really expect to get it back, but you never know. I expect this Messenger to come back, so maybe we go super crazy elf tribal? Not too sure. Also decent too, but drops in the pack with a Ghoul and a Cleric of the Forward Order. Backups with Lightning Javelin, Dragon Fodder. Watercourser actually probably better than those two. Has a good 3-drop. But yeah, happy to take the best card in the pack here. What else might we get past? Dark Petition, Blazing Hellhound. Suppression Bonds, though. Can't really pass up a Suppression Bonds, right? Yeah, I could go with the Farika's Disciple, but it's a 4-drop in green. You don't really want to fill up on the 4-drops too high. Plus, Suppression Bonds are just so much better. Somebody took a common over it, because there's a foil. So what's a better common? Like a different removal spell? Maybe like a Reeve Soul or a Fiery Impulse, one of those two. Yeah, but that means white will probably have, because I don't think there's a white common that would be taken over Suppression Bonds. I don't think you take a Taupe and Freeblade over it, do you? So hopefully the person next to me did not pick white. I'm cool with the Timberpack Wolf here. It's a 2-drop in green. I want to try to be green if I can. Plus, the earlier you pick these up, the better they get. And there's nothing, like, so much better in. Evolutionary Leap is certainly a playable card. And I think you get a lot of, like, value in certain matchups that are going long. But I'd rather just have a solid 2-drop, because some decks, Evolutionary Leap is just horrible against like an aggressive deck. Oromancer, I don't really want to move into, and it's definitely worse than Timberpack Wolf. I mean, Nantuko Husk and Radiant Scout are about on par with Timberback Wolf, especially this early in the draft, where I could pick up conceivably a lot of wolves, where it can be more than a 2/2. And there's no reason to move into another color when I already want to be playing green. This pack's horrible. Subterranean Scout's the second one we saw, so I'm going to pay attention to that. Mind you, I think my opponent might have picked black or red in the first pack because of the common that was taken. Don't know, but that's my suggestion. Still, here's an interesting choice. I could just try to cut some more green and take an Aerial Volley, which is a very good sideboard card. But I figure this is a solid playable 2-drop. I can get the Aerial Volley when I need it. I don't think it's a huge signal that it's open, so I will just kind of speculate into red here. Just a bump pack, really hard to gauge anyway. Here we'll stay on track with an Elvish Visionary. Goes well with Dwayne. It's a 2-drop in green, which I want to be my primary color. Nissa's Revelation is fine, but as a 7-drop, it's not something I'm ever really looking to play. Rogue's Passage I actually like picking up, but not over a solid 2-drop. And again, here's a Nantuko Husk, bunch of dork cards, Guardian Automaton. I actually think the Visionary is like one of the best cards in the pack anyway, so I'm pretty happy to try to solidify myself more into green. Here's an interesting choice, because there's the Hitchclaw Recluse, which is a playable 3-drop, but the Knight of the Pilgrim's Road is infinitely better. Also, there's Totem Guide Heartbeast, which works well with the first Suppression Bond. It gets a lot worse later on. I'm going to go ahead and take it. There is a weird world in which I end up playing green something and splashing white, and these would be cards to splash because it helps you get them. I don't imagine that happening in this format, since splash tends not to be the rule. Chief the Foundry, also just a solid 3-drop to mention. It's not going to go in this type of deck, whereas I might, because of the Knight's just better. But I think already having one Suppression Bond and then a Totem Guide Heartbeast can make this really nice. Ooh, really good Summerwald Alpha, pretty late. Happy to grab it in the slot. Wouldn't even mind taking the Disciple here. Remember, green's pretty much the primary color I'm looking for, so that's good. And it's definitely, those were the best cards in the pack. Seem to be going in the right direction here. We'll take an Empath. Sure, it's starting to get a little bit full in the 4-drop slot, which I'm aware of, which is one reason why I was mentioning earlier not taking that other 4-drop. I don't know if I'm going to play all of these, but still I want to cut green. And the only other card here is a Bonded Construct for my deck. Important to note that the Prickle Boar is here, so maybe red is more open as the secondary color, something to consider. Doesn't matter though, I'm happy just to stay on my primary color green. Yeah, and here the Dragon Fodder tabled, remember, as a decent 2-drop. There is a Bonded Construct I don't want to play. There is that Messenger. This is the one I was telling you about. I still don't want to play it. Elves just suck, even if I do have a Dwayne. I'd rather just take a solid 2-drop. And it looks like red might be our secondary, despite the fact that our white spells are quite powerful. This is a really late Water Courser. So I can either take this in case I open a blue bomb and just have, be base green with a little bit of blue, or I take the Veteran Sidearm, which has a small chance of going in the deck. Since it's such a small chance, I'd rather just take a speculative second color. Ooh, Subterranean. Yeah, there's lots of green or red 2-drops floating around. This guy should not still be here. That's a very solid 2-drop. Really makes me think red's quite open. So I'm gonna start considering red the secondary color here. I don't think we're a Warnhorn deck, but we might end up being. Okay. Green dried up. It was nice to see the pack with the Summerworld Alpha going late. We did pass a couple of 4-drops. The 2 Disciples and then the dorky one that tabled the Elf. The Freakish Disciples was the ones I was mentioning. Not that like green was insanely open. I mean, we didn't get past awesome cards, and as you see, I'm pretty spread out in these colors. I'm still happy though to be primary green thanks to the what's Dwayne? Gilt Leaf Dean. Ooh, holy moly, what an amazing pack. So even though I think red's way more open, Kytheon's Irregular is just a bomb. As is Languish, and Languish is worth a couple tickets, right? It's like worth 2 or 3. Yeah, it's like going to be like 2 tickets. Still, it's not worth so much money that it's worth like necessarily grabbing to move into another color. Foundry of the Consuls might even table, though it's a pretty good card. I'll probably get the Leaf Gilder or Orchard Spirit back if green's super open. O'Crowan Sergeant. I do think the Irregulars is powerful enough to ditch some of the red signal we are seeing. It means white's going to be just a secondary color, which is going to be hard on the mana, but this is just an insane bomb, and I'm happy to go there. Would love to see, there's no way the Free Blade's back, but would happy to take, again, the Consul, Spirit, or Leaf Gilder coming back. We might even play the Tactician if it returns. Notice, full up on the 4-drops. Ooh, there's lots of good stuff here. What do I want? Probably the Leaf Gilder over the Blessed Spirits. Is that true, though? I mean, it's nice because it's an elf and it works with Dwayne, and plus it's a very good 2-drop, which is what I'm looking for. Oh, this is going to ruin everything, isn't it? I hate how Magic does it. It didn't used to do this, right, the client? Not the old client, but just like the way they redesigned it at some point. Where if you remove, like, something in the slot, it all scoots over. I hate that. Anyways, between Leaf Gilder and Blessed Spirits, the Celestial Flare, I'm low on interactive spells in my elite, but they're not like the super powerful cards. And these are both really solid cards in general. I don't really know where to go. I'm worried that white's going to be such a small part of this. I just think the Leaf Gilder is going to be worth it. It ramps, it's an elf, and it's a lower drop. So anytime I'm trying to decide between the two, I'm going to go with the low drop. Even though a 2/2 flyer for 3 that might even get bigger could be worth it, I want to stick to the Leaf Gilder here. Here I will take a Knight of the Pilgrim's Road over the second Elvish Visionary. Sure, it's good, and I have a Dwayne, but I don't think it's like that good, and I do want to fill in a 3-drop slot. I'm hoping to probably pick up like a big dorky dude in Vastwood Gorger in some way, shape, or form in the future, but I'm happy just to fill in the 3-drop slot here. Yeah, Caustic Caterpillar might go on the sideboard later. This is a fine Rock Maulers. Another reason why Leaf Gilder is pretty good in green decks. We're going to be getting like a 5 and maybe like another 6 or something. Gold Forge Sentinel is even an option. But we know in green-white that this is going to be played, so nice to have a Leaf Gilder to make the higher drops less demanding. We have a really nice set of creatures already, so I want to start prioritizing interactive spells, removal spells, of course, or combat tricks, since I really like all of our creatures. Timberpack Wolf's kind of blah. We haven't seen any more Timberpack Wolves. Of course, they get really, really good. If you can get like 3 or 4 in the deck, that's just insane. Interesting set of decisions, though, with these Irregulars. I don't think white's going to be super open in the 3rd pack, but just having the Irregulars and Suppression Bonds makes me want to be white. And if we get nice little serviceable cards like the Knight of the Pilgrim's Road and Totem Guide Heartbeast, fine. I did say I wanted to prioritize interactive spells, like Enshrouding Mist is exactly what I'm talking about. But here's a Timberpack Wolf, and I actually want to take this high. I already have one. It's a nice 2-drop, and again, if you get 3 or 4, then it does become very powerful. I don't know if that's correct, though. It could just be, like, if I was to say Discipline and Conservative, I should just take the Enshrouding Mist. But I want a 2-drop. It's my second Timberpack Wolf. If it was my first one, I would definitely have taken the Mist over it. And notice I passed the Worm up. We're going to fill up that 6-drop slot one way or another with something powerful. There's no need to take that over a solid 2-drop, or again, the interactive spells I'm short on. We'll see just how much that bites me in the butt later on. Don't know if the Empath's going to be played. Even though it's a very solid card, I have very strong creatures right now. I would rather just fill in the 2s and 3s with some really nice cards and let my 4-drops be the super powerful Dwayne, Kythians, and Somberwald Alpha. I feel like 3 solid 4-drops is all I'm really looking for. So we totally whiff on this pack, which is a bummer. Vine Snare's not playable. Mage Ring Network, not really playable either. Lots of black-blue. Prickle Bursher. I'm going to take the Heavy Infantry, though. I'm really hoping not to play it. I'm not going to move away from blue to get like a Disperse or a Void Mage. It's not like it was super open last pack, despite having a super late Water Courser. And again, Irregulars, Suppression Bonds. Like, Irregulars means I'm not splashing white, and it's too good, so I'm taking it. I'm going to put the Heavy Infantry in the sideboard, though, because I have so many creatures, that's not going to be where I'm short playables. Still, what's going on here? I want to clean some of this up. Ooh. These are some really nice multicolored spells. If only it had the green-white one. Huh. Probably just take the Charging Griffin here? It's certainly playable. Again, I'm worried about the 4-drop slot being caught, stuck in, but maybe if I pick up another Leaf Gilder or 2, I won't have to, like, limit my, my 2-drops quite as much as I think. I don't know. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm really tempted by both of these spells are super powerful, but I'm not going to move away from their Irregulars or like move away from green to make any of those work. Here's an Amperin Tactician I don't really want. Again, 4-drop just being super cluttered. Still, we're going to cut our colors here as best as possible. Orchard Spirit's actually a nice filler 3-drop. Here's that first Amperin Tactician I thought would table, but I was much more excited for the Orchard Spirit to come back. Just to, this is where I want to pick up an Orchard Spirit. I guess I'll cut a Gather. No, Mighty Leap. That's actually, oof. I almost missed that. Mighty Leap I actually very much want, since I'm so low on interactive spells, even though it's just like a dorky combat trick, I still definitely want this in my deck. We're just going to cut our colors here. Yoked Ox. Stresswalk's actually a playable card. It's the Snare. I'm going to put over here. There's no way I'm playing a Snare. I don't want to play either of these. I really would like to shift my 4-drops into 2s and 3s. Would have been nice if these sort of late picks had been like a Titanic Growth or something. Or again, like another Orchard Spirit, just to have the curve a little bit lower. Because I'm surprised there was not as much green in that pack, seeing as... yeah, I passed the Farika's Disciples, but that was it. I was really hoping that I'd be hooked up with a lot of green, but all I got was, the Rock Smallers and then a Timberpack Wolf? What's going on here, friends? What's going on in this draft? Oh, why, hello, Planeswalker in my colors. How super exciting you are. So slamming, Kythian. Glad that we're already in the colors for Kythian. Interesting to note that this entire pack is just awesome. Blightcaster goes in a good deck. Citadel Castellan, I'd be curious if it tables. I mean, I would love it, and if there's a chance of the table, it's in opening it, so this is what I'm keeping my eye out for. We'll probably get the Vastward Gorger or the Mighty Leap back, so at least we'll get something like that to throw in the deck. Would love this Wild Instincts, or even the Celestial Flare. Yeah, although if Kythian wasn't here, I think I would take the Citadel Castellan. I think I would take this 3-drop instead of the Wild Instinct. Nah, I'm so low on removal. I would need the Wild Instincts. It's just so tempting to have this like super powerful 3-drop. But hey, I have a Planeswalker, so meh. Life is good. Let's see here. I'm gonna take the Might of the Masses. Would love for this to have been like a Suppression Bronze or like a Wild Instincts like before, but such is the life. The Rock Smallers is better, but I already have one. I don't really need it. Right now this Totem Guide Heartbeast isn't being played, but I might get that, like I said, that Wormback's probably coming, but we want 1 or 2 like 5 or 6 drops here. Still, I need interactive spells, so we'll take her. I guess just a solid 3-drop. Pretty weak showing for the first part. I can't complain. I have a Planeswalker, yet still would have hoped to have in the second and third picks have something a little bit more powerful. Even like a Topin Freeblade or something like that. I'm not taking the Aerial Volley. The red card's very nice. And Boggart Brute's very nice, but again, they're just very nice. I'm not super bummed. We'll really start to see if I'm in the wrong colors. Here's an interesting pick. Shining Mist being the best of the interactive spells. I do have enough creatures, though. I would just love the Stalwart Haven to upgrade, but I think I need to take the Enshrouding Mist. It looks like I'm not going to have any removal, which means I'm going to have to be playing well with creatures and combat tricks in order to get some card advantage or to get cards off the table. Hello, Ember Maw Hellion. How big you are. I did call that red was going to be open in the third pack, and it might have been, you know, you never know like what sort of big cards are going to be opened. So I'm happy that I stuck with the regulars. Plus, it allows me to play another Bomb Kythian. But remember, I was making a very conscious choice to move off of the open color red in order to play a very powerful spell. And now we're seeing that play out a little bit, where I'm missing some other powerful reds in the third pack. Hello. Look at this Fiery Impulse. So late. So crazy. Happy, though, to have a Knightly Valor here. That makes me super stoked. Starts to really round out our 5-drop slot. It means the Totem Guide Heartbeast is a little more playable now that I have a second aura. It'd still be nice to have a third, like another Suppression Bond or something, but it'll stay in now. And really, we're just looking to ditch these 4-drops, upgrade our spells. We're now at 17 creature count, because I consider the Knightly Valor a creature. Gosh, and a bomb white. So white ended up getting pretty open here. Green dried up, which is really interesting. Not that it was like amazingly open like I was mentioning, but I'm just surprised. Maybe we're all fighting over green here. Happy to take the Sentinel of the Eternal Watch. The Tactician's the first to go. I guess I'm not even at playables yet, so I guess I'll keep it in. But I doubt I'm going to be staying with 18 creatures. But who knows? I don't really have any... all I have are creatures in the sideboard, so we'll see. Still, happy to have the Sentinel. This is a late Iris. We'll take a late champion here. It'd be cool that we had had 2 if we had stayed in red-white. The deck might actually have been better. The issue is I was considering... it would either been red-green or the white-green that I have right now. So I would never actually been in red-white. Never mind. Orchard Spirit. Happy to put her in the 3-drop slot at this point in the game. It's not a great card, but it's fine. Here's a Titanic Growth. And now we can start moving away from some of these dorky 4s. This is not an Amperin Tactician deck. Celestial Flare, I'll take over the Vial. Mana's going to be a little bit strained at double green and double white. But that's all we're playing, so it's not like it's the end of the world. We'll bust a move with this guy. I'll cut the water. I'm not playing the Tactics. This is just a solid 3-drop. Aerial Volley is great for the sideboard. This, our Citadel Castellan or whatever didn't come back that last pack. Interesting to note. We'll cut the Bloodlust. I don't think it really matters. Cobble Brute. Fairy Miscreant. Okay. Just going to cut one of the 4-drops here. I think the rest of the deck is solid enough. I do like having high creature count, especially with Kythian, in order to get things attacking nicely. Would have liked to have seen one more Timberpack Wolf. I'm not super sad. Remember, I took the... What did I skip over it? It was like a Might of the Masses or something along those lines. Right? Am I insane? Am I remembering that incorrectly? I think so. I'm still glad I have the 2-drops, because I ended up not having a lot of 2-drops. Our sideboard is absolutely horrendous. As in, there's not a lot of options for us to be adjusting against decks. That's about it. Our spells are somewhat weak, but they're serviceable. I mean, 4 combat tricks, rather. Celestial Flare, Suppression Bonds, and then Knightly Valor goes up there. So we're at 18 creatures. We're definitely going to cut one of the 4-drops I've already mentioned. I am going to keep the Totem Guide Heartbeast in now that I have a second target. And both of the ores are very powerful. And especially since Suppression Bonds is one of my only removal spells that's targeting something, I really want to have the Totem Guide Heartbeast here. Really, it comes down to, do I cut the Empath or the Charging Griffin? How are we with flyers? We're really weak to flyers. I have 2 Orchard Spirits. They can't even block. Flyers. I have a 1 Reach Dude in my rare. And the rest I have really low... I just have only a couple removal spells. So Aerial Volley might end up doing quite a bit of work. I'm going to go ahead and take out the Griffin, though. It's not like the Griffin blocks very well anyway. And I have plenty of good creatures that can be attacking and moving forward. And the Empath will help me find some more card advantage. And as an elf, it can get pumped with Dwynen. So there you go. That's my reasoning for cutting the Griffin. Because really, my only reason to keep this flyer is if I wanted some defensive flyers or ways to like deal with flyers myself, and this doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. We'll just have to rely on some of our really powerful creatures that have removal attached to them. Yeah. And then my only real concern is the mana base. I could cut another card and go down to 18. I don't think I necessarily need to do that. Is 9/8 okay? I'm surprised it says 9 white. Maybe just because I have 2 double white spells. 8 is enough to get the 2 drops online. No matter what, yeah. No matter what, one of my 4 drops are going to be hard to cast, the way my mana is so split. And since I have a Celestial Flare and a Kythians Irregulars, I'll keep it at the extra land will go to the plains, versus switching around and going to the forest. Because I think 8 is still enough to get my 2 drops appropriately on turn 2. It is, considering that 2 drops are so important in this format, it is worth mentioning maybe switching it to the forest, but I don't think I have to worry about that. Would love to have had Evolving Wilds just to smooth out the draw a little bit, but there was never an opportune time. I think we saw 1 Evolving Wilds, and I definitely was going to pick it over. Oh, I remember not even like considering it when I saw it. Cool, here's the deck. Kind of interesting. Hey, we have a Planeswalker. I hope I draw it. It'll be fun to play. See you in round 1.